WRX. But would you look at that? We got some STI stuff there. Oh wait, we got more STI stuff there. But wait, we have the main STI thing right here. Hold on, ready? Hold on. Let's wait 1 second. The buttons for the DCCD, they work, and it's hooked up properly, and I have no ABS light. I have my airbag light because I have aftermarket seats, but no ABS light. I'm going to answer all of your guys' STI swap questions in today's video, because today's video is the ultimate STI swap video. I already linked everything in the description, so you're welcome. I'm not just gonna tell you guys, oh, look it up on some forums. I did the research for you. I looked it up, and I'm gonna tell you everything you need to know before doing an STI swap. You're very welcome. And the links that I gave you guys, it's for a GD. So I guess if you don't have a GD, then it's almost the same. But either way, I'm gonna tell you guys pretty much how I did everything, and also links to that, and also how you get rid of an ABS light if you have an ABS light when you did an STI cluster swap, and also how to hook up DCCD, the perfect guide I found on a forum that someone laid out perfectly, and I followed it and it worked flawlessly. I'm gonna get you guys set up on there. We're gonna go for a little drive, and we're gonna talk about exactly what you need to know. So the number one question I pretty much get all the times on YouTube, on Instagram, on my DMs, is pretty specific questions on doing an STI swap, the proper way to do it. There's little things that you definitely need to know, and it was very stressful while I was doing it because I had to figure all those things out. But I'm really hoping I could answer all your guys' questions that you have, in particular that has to do with an STI swap, how to make it work properly, and yeah, just pretty much everything you should know before you do it. So, number one, I would say there's two different ones you could do. There is, as far as the GD. So number one, let's talk about the two different STI swaps you can do. I'm gonna leave out the JDM one, by the way. I'm only gonna talk about USDM. So there is the 04 STI, which came 5x100, and then there's the 05 to 07 STI, which is the 5x114, which typically is the more desirable one, because you have better wheel choices, better wheel bearings, so on and so forth. So there's pretty much just that, right? Hold on, let's not die. So let's just talk about the one that I did. Now, I actually got an 04 STI drivetrain, but I wanted 5x114. And I actually didn't know there's a few things that I needed to change to do my 5x114. So the one thing that you should know right off the bat is if you happen to get an 04 STI drivetrain, but you still want to have your 5x114 knuckles, you're actually going to have to swap out for 05 to 07 front STI axles. Reason being is the fact that the 5x114 knuckles in the front are different spacing-wise as far as the ABS tone ring. So that might be a reason why you have an ABS light or your car's acting weird. If you did an 04 STI swap and you have 5x114, again, these are really weird issues, but it does come up pretty often when people do swaps and they actually don't know like what they're doing, right? So that's number one. So I actually got 05 to 07 STI axles to accommodate for my 5x114 knuckles. The next thing I want to talk about when you're doing the STI swap is the fact if you want to do a DCCD. Now for the USDM ones, they all came with the DCCD equipped. But if you want to run the OEM STI DCCD, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure you're going to have to get the STI ECU or somehow tap into it. I don't even know if you can actually do that. But that's why there is a company, which is iWire, and they make a DCCD Pro option, which is what I have. And I have a link in the description on a perfect swap for a GD on a step-by-step on how to install the DCCD. And I also have a video on my YouTube channel with me installing it. It's actually pretty easy once you get the full overview. If you're pretty mechanically inclined, it's not too bad. But there's a full thing in the description of a step-by-step on how to do it, the stuff you need. So There you go. Perfect link just for you guys. Now, what that's actually going to give you is the fact that if you don't hook up the DCCD and have your center diff open, typically people will drive with their car with the center diff open is the setting all the way on the bottom. If not, then I'm pretty sure it's a 60-40 bias rear wheel drive. And when people do the swap without hooking up a DCCD, you'll actually you're just not taking advantage, obviously, of what the STI transmission can do. So I would recommend hooking up the DCCD Pro and taking advantage fully of what the STI transmission is capable of. So now what I'm going to do is talk about how you get rid of all the annoying lights when you do an STI cluster swap. You'll thank me later. All right, now I can talk about, in particular, how to get rid of the annoying lights that will illuminate if you do an STI cluster swap. Go ahead and shut that off. So, things that you should know. Your DCCD light, which is, let me switch cameras. Okay, so we had to switch up cameras. So things that you should know. Your DCCD light will stay illuminated, which is gonna be this guy, right there. That's always gonna stay illuminated, just so you know. And also now this is one thing that gets pretty nitpicky. So there's two different options when you do an STI cluster swap. You could do the 04 STI cluster swap, and if you do that, it's a direct plug and play. The plugs are exactly the same. The pins are different, so you're gonna have to switch those around, but it will do a direct plug and play. So that's what I wanted. I wanted direct plug and play and just switch pins around. The only issue with doing that is the fact that your ABS light will stay on. And it will stay on if you have, I want to say it's 05 to 07 WX, and you swap in an 04 STI cluster, the ABS light will stay on. And my ABS light was on forever, and I barely figured out how to fix it and for the light to go off and the ABS to work properly. And the reason why it is that is because it's actually reverse polarity from 05 to 07 WX compared to the earlier 04 STI version 8, I think, cluster. And what I'm going to do for you guys, I'm going to put in the description a PDF on exact cluster swaps. How to get rid of the annoying ABS light, how to get rid of the rear diff temp light. Like, it's going to show you everything, what pin you need to move where. And it is honestly pretty easy. You just need to ground a couple wires to get rid, or you need to ground a wire for the rear diff temp. The only confusing part is to get rid of the ABS light. Now, if you have a reverse polarity situation like I did, you're actually gonna have to get a relay. Now, what I did is I drew this up, right? I'm not the best at electronics. It took me a while to figure out, but I drew this. You're very welcome. It's actually, the only thing that's wrong is from the cluster, I went to an 87A on the relay. You can see here. The 87A, the terminal, I thought it was a normally closed relay, but apparently not. Because according to this, I want to say it's right. Look at it, screenshot it, look at it. That's how you get rid of your ABS light if it's on, if you have a reverse polarity situation like me. So what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to trick the system pretty much. So from the ABS module, it's pretty much it's seeing an open or it's seeing a ground. It's seeing whatever's gonna illuminate on the dash. The dash is reversed from what the ABS module is, and that's why the light is illuminated. So all you need to do is put in series this relay and you'll be good to go. So like I said, there's gonna be a full PDF on this little reverse relay situation. And that should get rid of that. So what happened on mine is my relay, I had to actually go to 87 instead of 87A, and then my ABS light went out. So this does work, all right? I'm just saying, ABS light, get it out. Because someone did DM me just today or yesterday and asked how I got rid of the ABS light. That's how you do it. You're welcome. You better have screenshot that. I'm also dyslexic, so if I spell anything wrong, I'm sorry. And this isn't like the correct way you should do like a schematic like this, but either way it works, let me tell you. So that's that. What else? So we got the cluster, get rid of the lights. Also in that PDF it will show you how to get rid of like the annoying buzzing if you have that. It's just a perfect guide on cluster swaps. And what else? We got the hubs, the special 5x114 ABS tone ring, the DCCD I will also have linked below. I don't know if I said that already. The proper guide on how to do it. I'll literally show you. It's right behind here. Bam. It's right there. It's legit right there. It fits perfect. There is my DCCD Pro. And it's a perfect guide, and they have hookups to run OEM STI buttons. So make sure STI swap super legit. You could hook it up with the OEM STI buttons, and everything's ready to go. It literally, iWire has great instructions on how to actually do it and utilize the full potential of your STI swap. I definitely highly recommend doing that because I finally got mine running good. And what was weird for me, that's another thing, is my my cluster was reversed again from my DCCD. So my down was up and my up was down. So what I actually had to do is I took this this switch out. There's 3 wires. Let's just say there's one on the top, there's one in the middle, and there's one at the bottom. All you do is swap the one from the bottom to the top, and it reversed it. So now my down is actually down there, and then my up, when I go up, it goes up because it was reversed for some reason. So that was that. I think that's pretty much that. Now moving on to the outside of the car, like the knuckles, the brakes from the STI, rear diff, and so on and so forth. I did my full swap to the obviously the R180 diff, the STI drive shaft, all STI axles, and I guess I'll talk about the brakes first. So when you bolt on brakes on a WX, in the front they're actually direct bolt on. The only thing that you will need to get, if it doesn't come with the used Brembos that you got, is the thread pitch for mounting the bolts, or not mounting the bolts, the thread pitch for mounting the brakes. There's 2 bolts on each side that holds the actual caliper to the knuckle. It's actually different on the STI. So if it doesn't come with those, I actually had to go get brand new ones. So I just went to my Subaru dealership. I asked for STI mounting bolts, and that was that. Because you will strip the STI Brembos if you try to use WX bolts that go through, because there's still 2 bolts that hold every WX caliper on, but it's not the same as STI. So you're gonna have to get those 2 bolts. They're real cheap, but it should bolt right on in the front. But as far as the rear, why I just did my full swap is the STI e-brake is different. The shoe size is different. Because the way that they have it mechanically, when you pull the e-brake, these 2 shoes go out, and that is that's your e-brake. So it's actually different on the STI version. So that's why I just did my full swap, because they do make like a hybrid rotor and then a mounting bracket. You can have an STI rear Brembo, but I just wanted to do the whole thing, the whole shebang. It's a lot easier in my opinion because I wanted 5x114. But there is options out there you can look up for mounting a rear Brembo on your WX. I just think it's too much. You're gonna eventually go 5x114, so you might as well just send it. That's the way I think about it. As far as the rear diff goes, I actually had to run an R180 diff. Reason being, obviously, I went to 5x114 axles, the spline count for the outside, and also I know you can run a WX rear diff, but I couldn't because 0607 WX has a weird final drive that's not similar in any STI transmission, but there is some final drives for, like, I believe the like 0405 WX, like all the 2 liters. I think you can match that final drive rear diff R160 to a certain STI transmission, but I didn't look too far into that because I obviously have 0607, so my final drive was weird, and that's why I did my R180. So the last thing that you're going to have to look up to properly swap your STI stuff in your WX is you have to make sure that you have the right slave cylinder style or clutch style. There's a push and there's a pull. I have the exact opposite of an STI, so that's why I had to buy an STI slave cylinder to accommodate for the fact that it's the opposite of mine, right? I forgot if it's a push or a pull, but I know for sure 0607 WX is the opposite of an STI. So you're gonna have to get an STI slave cylinder if you have my particular WX. But the starter was the exact same, so bolts right up. But the STI does in fact have a larger flywheel. That's why they have different clutches as well. So I needed to buy an STI clutch, I needed to buy an STI flywheel. and brand new like flywheel bolts, clutch bolts, so on and so forth. It has more bolts holding it on. But that was pretty much it. I know it's obviously it sounds like a lot, but you just need to make sure you know obviously what WX you have, what year, and then definitely plan ahead, figure out a budget. But I didn't know I was actually going to need all that before I got into it. So now that you know all the stuff that you need, maybe this will help you better plan your swap in the future. Because obviously this video is intended to help you get you all figured out, know what the differences are, because there is so many differences between an STI and a WX. It is ridiculous. Like, come on, the cluster is reverse polarity. Like, why? So, I know, contrary to a lot of people's belief, a WX, it's not even close. I'm sorry. It's not even close to the same. Yeah, there's gonna be some things that are the same, but speaking from someone that has literally swapped everything to an STI, I figured there is so many differences. It's stupid. Like, the clutch style is different on my year. Like, why? Why? Subaru, you're killing me. You're killing me right now. Literally everything is different. So I just wanted to get that out there. We got some good info. We got some good links in the description. I really hope this helped you guys, because this is just a bunch of info in this video. Just a stupid amount of info. And I'm really hoping that it is going to help you guys, because there was so much stress when I was doing my swap. Just hours and hours of research compiled into this whatever, like 12-minute video that I have you guys right here, and direct links to what you guys need, and my little drawing for you guys to do this little relay to make your ABS light go out. So I really do hope this helped. Everyone that has DM'd me about STI swap questions, I hope this is the video that you guys are watching and I answer all your questions. That is going to be it. I am done talking. I hope you guys enjoy the information I have provided today. If you want me to do more in-depth videos just like this, I really do. I do enjoy giving you guys information that took me like a long time to find. Like, it does give me like some joy that I'm helping you guys out. So definitely make sure if you enjoy these videos and it truly does help you. I love hearing the comments. I love seeing the DMs. So I appreciate it. And also, thank you. Number one, if you stayed to the end. Number two, thank you for 40,000 subscribers. Like, we hit it and I didn't even like realize it. Like, I really try not to focus on like my views or like my subscribers, honestly. That's like one of my huge goals for 2020 is just like to focus on the work, not on just like the numbers. You know, it's gonna stress you out too much, especially if you're trying to do any social media. That's a huge tip of advice. Just do not look at your numbers. It's good to look at analytics every once in a while. But looking at views, looking at how many followers you have, man, I went through a deep like point in my social career where I just kept comparing myself, and it's a horrible way to do it. And I definitely am getting way better at it, not focusing on all the numbers, just trying to focus on good quality content. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. I'm gonna catch you on the next one. Peace out.